Hey, hey, we're live again. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, perhaps. This is Voices from the Mountains. Sadahoye Pushtaku. Yep, I'm your former friend and host from Raw Kabul, the podcast. This is a new channel, the same initiative. This is our first episode. So we're waiting for our first guests to join in. Afreet the band. Don't ask me why I moved from that channel to this. Every channel has their own agendas, they have their own status and their own message, and some don't really go well with the others. I'm a bit of a loud mouth, so yeah, I was kind of kicked out. Not really, no. I wasn't kicked out, but yeah, as I said, every umbrella has their own way of conveying the message, and my message is a bit more of an aggressive side. Aggressive, that should be the right term for it. So we have one of the boys on. I'm just waiting for the other one to kick in so we could have a go ahead. Hope you guys have been good. Well, that's a very rhetorical question. None of us has been good. That's it. My teacher, my mentor, Blingaston, says every rose has its thorns. That's very true. Well, I have more thorns than rose petals, I would say, but thank you very much. I'm not sure if I was the rose, but yeah, that's all good. Well, I'll just bring in Afreet. Boom. Okay. So Lemar is running late. That's all right.
سلام لمر جان.
وعلیکم السلام.
خوب هستی
جوړ
جابر
په
جان؟
خیر،
سعادت خوب.
تازه پخیر، جوړ په خیر. ساکه چه خوب خوبش تو دری میگی، ما در پشتو میگم افغانستان نمیز دیگه بیاد.
باش، ما گفتم خدا انگلیسی باید گپ بزنی یا دری چی رقم مسئله است آدینست فرق نمیکنه دیگه.
انگلیسی است بیادر. انگلیسی است بیادر. It's English. It's a international platform, my friend. It's Instagram Live. English, Chalon. How you doing, bro?
Right, I'm good. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving your time and inviting me to your podcast. And hi to Blingaston as well. I haven't chatted with her in quite some time. She's probably pissed.
Wait. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Thank you very much for coming on, man. You guys are my first friends and guests on this under this title, I should say. Walaikum salam. And man, you guys are like a royalty. You know, you guys are the only Afghan metal band in existence. So thank you very much, man. It's my pleasure. I'm honored. And obviously, when Suleiman comes on, because I think he said he'll be a bit late, then we would be able to talk a bit more. How far do we guys go, and how far have you guys come today? But how is life, bro? Tell me about life outside of everything, your own personal life, man. How is life? How is love life? How is everything around you?
It's okay. I can't complain, man. Everything is going fine. You know, busy with work. I'm still working from home, even though some of our colleagues are called in the office. I'm actually right now not in my city. I'm in London. I'm with a friend, a very childhood friend that I'm staying with him at the moment. I'll go back to my city in a couple of days. Anyways, everything is going fine in here. However, of course, generally speaking, we're all feeling still numb and sad, and you know what's happening in our country. And a minute doesn't pass by where we, you know, how before we used to just get onto the Instagram and Facebook just to see what other people are doing, but right now we just go there to see the latest, very latest news. of what people are saying about there. So that's always in the head, you know, right now. Otherwise, everything else is going fine. You know, family, you know, siblings, friends, everyone is good. And I hope everything's going good with you as well in Australia.
God bless, brother. God bless, man. Alhamdulillah. Everything is going good. It cannot be perfect. Life isn't perfect. We cannot ask for perfection. We can just make whatever we have, try to make it perfect for us at that very moment. So
Very
yeah,
true.
yeah, it's been going good. It's been going good. Alhamdulillah. I've been a bit sick. I've been a bit busy with work and all, but that's just life outside home. You know, you go outside your home, you're either a guest or a stranger. So
Yeah.
it's hard to navigate your life around, and it's never easy. It's never comforting. It doesn't feel like you can sleep in peace like you do in your home. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We try to make the best out of it. So tell me quickly, what do you think? You've been, I know you've been active uh, with you're keeping up with all what's happening in Afghanistan. Give me something quickly. What do you see? What do you hear? Because there's a lot coming in from a lot of different sides. Because nowadays, internet, you know, you look at one picture from 5 different angles. So if you can just put it in a nutshell, what do you think? What's up?
Well, it's always been a complex situation when it comes to politics in Afghanistan. You know, it's not like when you put just one opinion, it, you know, even what I share could just not be true. But it doesn't take someone to be genius to completely understand what's going on. And we all understand what's going on. You know, there's a lot of apologists. People are saying, you know, Taliban sympathizers, you know, everything is going good and all that. I mean, yes, people are going to their work and, you know, bringing bread to their home for dinner or lunch or whatever. But it's not just only that, you know. We're not just talking about just going to work and coming back. We're talking about this, you know, at least having your basic human rights in the society. And that's just, you know, getting tortured, you know, especially with women and girls and you know, how they've always, even with the falling government that we had, you know, it was still very hard for them to be active in the society, let alone speaking of Taliban in the society right now. You know, after they took over Afghanistan, they're complete radical extremist people who the ideology is, you know, it's beyond what we think of what is Islam is. So it's just a complete different book of Islam that they've created for themselves. So it's very hard for them, especially for women, but all for everyone as well, living currently in Afghanistan. Because, like I said, it's not just only going to work and making money, coming back home. It's about your, you know, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, and of course, art and music, and having the same right, equal rights with women and men. And that's not happening in there, and we're all sad for it. And I've been in contact with friends and family members as well. And like I said, they say things are fine. Like, for example, in the city, you could just go out and buy something. But it's way beyond that of what we are arguing. And we are arguing just not that. It's completely, you know, way more than that. And that is very, very, very uh, under the Taliban's feet at the moment. And we're all sad for it. And like you see, a lot of people even in Afghanistan right now are protesting, not just only for Panjshir or what is happening and resisting, but for their rights. And nothing's happening. And I've seen pictures today, this morning, of journalists getting tortured, getting beaten by these Talibans, and it's even more devastating. So, I mean, you're all aware of what's happening, you know. I think everyone's aware of what's happening. So it's very sad.
Well, man, I mean, you have definitely put it in a very uh, clear nutshell, in a very brief way. You have explained what is happening, and that's very true. Obviously, if you ask me, man, I don't really keep up with every side. You know, I just because I do, when you explore with your social media, you know, you can come across so many variety of different messages and news. You know, I don't really go through them all. I don't really try to read through them all, because if I see one, just for instance, if I see one picture in 5 different contexts, so I just ignore the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
So I sort of look for stuff myself. I kind of search for things. I still use Google. I'm
Yeah.
old school, right? So if I want to look for something or what's happening, the recent events, I'll just Google it, and then I will look through the sources, who is saying what, you know, and that's how I do it. But the beautiful thing about this social media thing, there are some people just like yourself, actually, those who have been really active with trying to help people, you know, without being biased, without thinking, without focusing about the politics either being internal or external. They're just trying to help their people, you know, regardless of their tribe, their name, their titles, religion, whatever. They've been trying to help the people. So that's really inspiring to see, and I wish I would have been able to do that. You know, so that's the kind of a flame of hope that you get, and you see through this whole social media circuit that's going on. One thing that is very important for me to ask you is, you have immediate family there, right, in Afghanistan at the
Yeah.
moment? Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. Are they good? Are they safe? Everything is well with them
Yeah, they're
at the
fine.
moment?
Yeah, they're all right. They're just at home. They're doing what they used to do, but not to that extent. Well, of course, my mother can't, doesn't go out, and my brother rarely goes out, maybe just for food.
Yeah.
So it's dad who's just doing everything. Yeah, they're there. Like I said, yeah, I do understand. Things are like, it looks like not normal. It looks like you could go out and, for example, you could go to a restaurant and eat food. That's, but again, the debate comes, we're talking about, the argument is way more than that.
Exactly.
We don't just
Exactly.
want to go to a
Yeah.
restaurant. I want my rights in the society. Where is that? That's not happening. There's this fucking genocide that is happening, and punch here.
Yeah.
And regardless of what you said, you could go in search and things like that. That's a good thing, actually, because you can't just trust these medias. They don't show. It's been always like that. Like, for example, BBC or these other big
Of
ones.
course.
They do show
Yeah.
some stuff. Some important stuff. I should tell the truth, but the things that really, really matter, for example, could change. The opinions of people. Those things are always getting, hidden away. Sorry, my English is, it's not my first language, so like I might have
Bro. If
grammatical error. I might have grammatical error. So
I
the
can,
real news is always hidden.
exactly, man. I mean, look, this is. I think for the moment, it's been so chaotic that our people, Afghan, unfortunately, we for some reason are so focused on this really big picture, on this very, very up level, advanced level politics, right? That for somehow the issues which can be attended to immediately, and it needs immediate attention, and it's more of to do about our people directly, or normal everyday people. It has to do more directly with humanity. We have kind of forgotten that. I know you are working towards that. I know that for a fact, man. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. And there are a lot of other people who are working for that. But most of us are not. Most of us are so busy about the atrocities in the history and the atrocities of what's going on and who's involved, who shouldn't be, who should get sanctioned, who should get blocked, who should get attacked, who is attacking, and this and that. But hey, we still have IDPs in Kabul.
Yeah.
We still have people dying from hunger, man. We still have those orphans in the capital cities in Afghanistan who, God knows what's happening to them right now. So because of unfortunate that Afghan heart, we were raised with, I should say, the liquid to chase our food was politics always.
It's true.
Always.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the problem, because there are some people out there who think or who feel the responsibility that they need to speak out about bigger things than themselves.
Yeah.
That's too big. Okay, like,
Well,
I don't know. I have no idea of what's been happening. I have no
it's
idea what's the
like I said, it's a
politics.
very complex
Okay?
situation. One can share an opinion, but you can't just deny all the other opinions, because it's how politics works. You need to listen to everyone. But
Yeah, true.
not everyone can take part in it. Like, I'm not saying I'm actively taking part in it. I'm actively taking part through art, through music. But I've always said,
Exactly.
even when I was in Afghanistan, I have always said that a country's stability is not derived from art, and that's very true. And a lot of artists, they might be angry with this statement, but a country's stability, especially within an economy and everything, it's very true. It's not derived from art. Art is for the soul, for example. So let's say if someone wants to do a project, to do the project, a song might give you the inspiration. So it's for your soul, let's say. Let's put it that way. So even if I'm not actively taking part in the political side of it, I can't. How should I? Who am I to take part? For example, yes, I'm an Afghan, but given the fact that I can make music and share opinions through that, then I take full advantage of that. And some people might say you're taking full advantage of the situation. At least it's better than not speaking up. Why not to speak
Exactly.
up? If I
Exactly.
just go and speak to all the people around myself, my friends and everyone, it's a good thing. You're sharing opinions still. But if you've got the advantage of sharing it in a broader audience, then why not? You make an art, you make music, or something else, whatever it is. You're a journalist, or you write a book, you write a novel, or whatever it is, a journal, or whatever it is. You share that, so you take the full advantage of it, and that's what we're doing. That we're trying to do. We'll see what's going to happen.
And let me just add something there. You are doing it for a good cause. You have
Yes.
good intention, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there are people who would use this opportunity for their own benefits and their own favors, just like any other big news media. Any big news outlet in the world, like, as you said, BBC or CNN or
Yeah.
CNBC or RT or whatever. They have their agendas, no doubt. Our agenda is just our people, our everyday people. you know and and we will actually really go in depth in this, because I heard your last interview, which
Yeah.
was quite lengthy as well, and it was with a very popular
Which one?
metal
Oh, yeah. Okay.
uh, source, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was related to Metal Hammer, and
Yes.
those
Yeah.
people who are into rock and roll and metal, they know the the value of being in a communication or in a chat with Metal Hammer. It's really big. It's really big. It's like being a politician and you are on BBC. That's it. Yeah. I mean, that is the truth. And unfortunately, because I will come back to this when Sully is on, that a lot of the things that they try to talk about, that was very generic, because that's what they want to know. That's what they want to ask. That's what most of their audience can perceive,
Yeah.
can process, you know. And at the end of the day, most of the things which is really troubling us right now, it doesn't concern them. They can't even relate to that. You know,
No. I
if
mean, well, I don't know. It's a big game, they're playing, of course, like, for example, when we say sanction Pakistan, we're not really saying sanction the normal people of Pakistan.
exactly,
Normal
yeah,
people are just like me and you. They go and work. They're trying to, find some money to bring some food to their home. But of course, when we say sanction Pakistan, we're actually saying sanction, for example, the political agenda, ideology of Pakistan that is playing a big game, for example, you know, and it goes to every country. For example, when you say that America really put their hands on, all of these things in regards to Afghanistan, we're not really saying. I mean, I could say it's some people of Americans because they really do support this, but we're not really attacking the normal people in here. We're not attacking Sully because he's an American-born Afghan.
He's an American boy. Look at the beard, man.
Afghan-born American. How do you say it? Afghan-born American.
He's
I'm a
very
citizen of the world.
Yeah.
I'm the citizen of the world. There you go, my friend. There you go.
So we're not attacking the normal people. We're attacking the real cabinet, political cabinet, the politics. You know.
That's it.
So that's that, yeah. And I think I had a friend who said hi in here, so I just want to say hi to him if he's still. Let me see if he's still watching it. Yeah. Ali John, salam.
Just say hi,
yes.
Everyone. Sully, how's it going, brother? Welcome, man. You are late. What were you doing? Uber driving or what?
Oh man, no. The life of a musician, man, always on the fucking road. I gotta show them.
Whoa, look at that, man, showing off on us. Swing your big dick, my brother. Swing it.
Oh,
swing
no,
it.
no. Yeah, man. So, yeah, I'm here. Here for the podcast and here to talk with you guys. And
thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. And now that we have Afreet on, we have Yusuf and Sulaiman Omar from Afreet, the only Afghan metal band in existence today.
Yes,
I'm honored, and I feel privileged that you guys are here. Thank you very much for making the time. We're gonna make this quick, but we're gonna make this hot. By making this hot, I mean because there are these three people who are related with District Unknown. District Unknown, a band being the pioneers of Afghanistan metal. Now, these people, us people, we have a very particular personalities. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
That's why we were metalhead and we still are, right? Yeah. We are very strong, we're very aggressive, and we stand our ground. So this whole conversation, this whole podcast will be about that, and we will be true, we will be in their face, we would be hard. So the questions would be obviously pretty straightforward, pretty hardcore, pretty realistic, and I believe that you guys are prepared for all that. So Afreet, we will do what I call a rapid fire round, Hamam and Umrah. Okay, we'll go there, a quick rub and brush so we get warmed up, yeah? As I can see, you guys are already warm with your t-shirts. I'm still wearing a jacket because it's fucking freezing here. All right, so Yusuf and Sully from Afreet. First of all, tell me, what's the meaning of Afreet? Just one word. What's Afreet?
It's a mythical name. A name derived from methodology of Islam. We don't want to really go into it, but it's actually it's a name that has been used for a higher rank of a higher ranked evil. Not evil, a devil.
Demon.
Exactly. Not sure.
It's an infernal class of jinn.
Yeah. But then again, it has also. So you see, when I say this, whoever's watching this or will watch this, they will be attacked religiously. What I've said, what the fuck are they talking about? We're not talking, like I said, or devil level, whatever. No, it's jinn, exactly. And jinn can be good or bad, So we were the good people. So it's a good jinn.
Okay. The very good, sexy jinns. I support that. I support that, man. Oh, plus, saying that, Tom Araya from Slayer once was asked when they made their album God Hates Us All, right? And he was interviewed and he was asked, does God actually hate us? And he was like, nah, God.
Of course not.
doesn't hate us. It just sounds cool.
It's a good fucking title, exactly.
Yeah.
Now
that's Come Alive from Flair, man.
Yeah.
So
Well, people confuse the entertainment aspect of bands. They confuse that sometimes for reality.
Yeah.
And,
exactly.
you know, we're telling stories, man. You said to just sum up Afreet in one word. I would say the word would be story.
Yeah.
Story. Wow. Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
That's what we do. We tell stories. We tell stories about, sometimes, like in the case of our latest song, about reality. Other times we tell stories through the lens of a fictional kind of universe. But there's always a lesson or a moral or some kind of relevant thing in our music that people can relate to. So that's it, man. I'd say in one word, story.
Story. And I mean, that's so metal, man. That's purely metal in its core. All right. So if you were a superhero, what would have been your superpower?
Don't know. Never thought of it.
I think invisibility.
Oof, I love that one. You pervert. Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
I go with that.
I'm on the breath. So I think I'm on.
Yeah, that's it.
He's trying to turn like that guy.
Hey. If I had the power, I would go in Hamom Umumi though. No, it's just you, man. You gotta go into the joint, man. All right, so I think Sully his connection is a bit bad.
He's buffering.
That's all right. We will. Okay. So Yusuf, you've got the hot seat, man. Yeah. All right. So if you were given a choice of choosing your birthplace or your tribe, which one would you choose?
Does it really matter? I don't know. Would it really matter?
What? I don't know. You tell me. No.
I don't think so. It would matter. No. I want to choose.
Cool. So even if you had a choice, that where do you want to be born or which tribe would you choose?
When do I want to be born? I'll do answer that. When do I want to be born? For example,
where? Not when.
No, that doesn't really matter. That doesn't.
Okay.
No. But when?
Okay. When? When would you like to be born?
1960 would have been great.
60s.
1960, yeah.
60s. Where? Now that's important. Where?
Okay,
60s,
now
where?
yeah, preferably my own country.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
The flower heaven. I know the 60s, Afghanistan, and most of the southeastern Asia was the flower heven.
So, it was a good place. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yes. Yeah, definitely. But also a lot of political, what do you call, political turns happened.
Yeah.
Which I really wanted to be part of. Like, for example, the first coup d'etat that happened in 1973. I mean, you know, you had to be at least 14, 15 years old, at least to see it. Yes, not a kid.
Yeah,
but, you know, I think I said it a little bit earlier. I would have loved to be born 1955. So I would have seen the first coup d'etat in 1973. And then, of course, witnessed the second coup d'etat in 1978. And you never know, you could have been part of it. Not necessarily part of the coup d'etat, but of maybe whatever else opposition to it, or could be part of it. But obviously, you could have decided when you were there. So yes, definitely that, because that's where all this things started going sideways from the first coup d'etat, I think. Yeah.
Wow, man, that was a very good answer actually, because that goes into its own rabbit hole, because you're talking about like the people like our fathers and uncles, our elder generation, that they were born in those years and what they actually went through. I don't know, man, if I had the courage or even the heart to go through as much as they went, but that's beautiful answer, man.
I think Sully wants to. Yeah, just Adam, man. Request.
I have already allowed him in, man. I don't know why is it not.
I'm not sure. I don't know how this works. It's probably the first time going live.
Just do it again, bro. Sully, do it again, man, because it says unable to join. There's some issue on your side, man. All right. So you're gonna have to you're gonna have to carry the flame for Afreet, man.
Okay.
Which historical figure, if any, you would want to meet, and why?
Now, that's a very good question. Thank you very much. I think anyone you would answer right now, they'll be like, oh, I want to see Ahmad Shah Massoud. Okay, good. You know, of course, no, everyone wants to see Ahmad Shah Massoud. I think he was a good political figure. He did a lot of good things, but I'm not completely agree for everything he did. You know, a lot of things he did was very good, you know, for the benefit of the country. But there are things that he did, which it's human nature. You can't do everything right. You know, he's probably he also did some stuff which wasn't, you know, shouldn't have happened, let's say. But also it was out of his hands. Like, for example, when they were creating their shura in Peshawar, for example, right, in 1992. No, sorry, from 1990, for example. That was where it started when Najib was his nizam was starting to fall apart, and he openly sent out his ministers to say that, yeah, you guys can take over in a way. So the shura happened and all that happened, blah, 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 blah. And everyone decided, okay, I think Mujaddidi will come sit for 2 months. And then after that, Rabbani will come sit for 4 months. And then all of a sudden, this guy, Gulbuddin Hekmatyar comes in like, oh, no, I won't accept that. There comes the same Mujahideen that was getting the artillery from the Pakistan, through the Pakistan from Americans with Ahmad Shah Massoud. Same Mujahideens who fought against the Russia and the falling government were the same Mujahideens that began the conflict. But again, like I said, it wasn't Ahmad Shah Massoud's fault. It was the Gulbuddin Hekmatyar's. And the clash happened, three attacks in Kabul, 60,000 people died, you know. But again, like I said, it's not Ahmad Massoud's fault. But what I'm trying to say is, whatever he did and the Shura did and all these other hizbs got to that point. Anyway, but again, out of everyone who were fighting in that time, it's very obvious that Ahmad Shah Massoud was doing the right thing. You know, he was doing the right thing. You know, he wasn't radical, he was an extremist, and he wasn't raising the political agenda of nationalism. You know, nationalists, for example, Tajiks. No, so of course he was the good guy, but again, the complexity of the situation was so big that some things were out of his control, which led to some very bad, events happening in Afghanistan.
Let me just highlight out of all those very significant, important points you made. I'm gonna point out and highlight one thing for sure, is that where did the council actually took place was Peshawar, Pakistan.
It was Peshawar. Yes, of course the council took place in Peshawar because there was no place for the council to take place in Afghanistan. Everybody literally, there was no policeman. There was people. There was one time that they wanted to fix where the water is coming to these people, these pipes and everything, and they couldn't find the reason, the right person who was working for that department. Everything was a complete total chaos. So it's not completely, Ahmad Shah Massoud's fault. Things were very, very bad. But he was doing the right thing. However, I do feel bad sometimes that why sometimes, for example, people confuse religion with political.
We will actually go. We will go into that.
Yeah,
we'll go very soon into that. But Sully, historical figure, who would you want to meet? Why?
I would want to meet Zahir Shah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is it because of his haram he had, or his gardens? Which one, bro?
What he had?
No, I mean,
a whole groupies he had. The groupies.
I don't know.
I would say,
maybe.
Honestly, I don't know as much about the history as Yosuf does, But I do know that after Dawood Khan deposed Zahir Shah is when change started to occur in Afghanistan, rapid change over the next 20, 30 years that followed. So I think I would want to meet him just to find out how that happened so quickly, and you know, if they knew what kind of a catalyst for change that would be when that happened with the bloodless coup or whatever, when he took power. So that's who I'd want to meet.
Beautiful. All right, man. So the last one is a bit intense, yeah? So the last one is,
What?
which one would you choose if you had only two choices, right? Spend 24 hours in a torture chamber of CIA black site,
Yeah.
or suffer 24 hours, have your leg cut off and your hand, and you cannot speak in prime of your career.
Who would I want to be with in that 24 hours?
No. Which one would you choose? Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Say that again. Which one was it? Being held for 24 hours?
So if you had a choice between two, spend 24 hours in a CIA black site being tortured.
Okay.
CIA black site.
Okay.
Right? Being tortured.
Okay.
All right. Which one of them was in Bagram? And we all know the stories of Bagram, and we all know the stories of Iraq, of all those whatever's happened. Right?
Okay.
Abu Ghraib and all that.
Abu Ghraib, that's it. Or in peak of your career, you had one leg cut off, one hand cut off, and you cannot speak.
Oh, come on.
I'll take the torture, bro. I'll take the torture. 24 hours of torture.
I don't know.
I use my hands for the guitar, dude. How am I gonna play?
Yeah, man. I think I'll choose the torture as well. If the torture is happening in Cuba, in Guantanamo, then you know, why not? I'll get to see that. I'll get to tell the stories that I step foot in the very southeast east of Cuba. Then sure, why not?
All right. Good round, boys. Good round, and I love the answers, man. Very, very, very entertaining and very factual. Thank you very much. Sully is gone again.
Yeah.
I think his internet is really bad. I'm gonna turn on this back on so he can request back. All right, man. So let's get into the whole meat, the potatoes and meat of this thing. Now, as I said earlier, we are metalheads from Afghanistan. We are a different breed of metalheads and different breed of teenagers or younger generation, not only in Afghanistan, but around the world, from the community of metal, because we come from Afghanistan. Okay, and that says something about us being metalheads. But all right, so a lot of these questions comes from things that I couldn't really hear in your last interview with Metal Hammer, right? And which one I should bring? Okay, I don't know, man. Is it Afreet? Should I just invite Afreet again? Yeah. Okay. So you said something about there was a confusing takeover. There was Sully just transformed into a car. That's an Autobot, man. Come on, Autobots. Autobots transform. All right. Autobots transform, my friend. Transform. Okay, cool. So you're back. All right.
I'm back.
Okay, so you said this confusing takeover regardless of government and army. You know, this confusing takeover.
Yeah.
What did you actually mean? What was confusing about it?
The confusing was in regards to the military. So when we say military, obviously there's a chain of command, right? You know, you've got soldiers, and then you've got, I don't know, lieutenants, chief, blah, blah, this and that, major, then you go to top generals and all that. It wasn't that confusing for the generals because they knew the bigger game what was happening, but it was definitely confusing for the very frontline soldiers. Imagine you are trained and prepared to do your job, and then your commander says, okay, you know, there's a tactical, you know, we need to fall behind. And you can't just go and be like, you know what, you know, fuck off, I'll just go and fight. You have to obey, right? So that was the very confusion game for them, and also for the normal people. Who would have thought they would have fallen in 2 weeks? We knew the government was corrupted, but we didn't knew the government is so massively corrupted to that point that it's going to fall in 2 weeks. So massive confusion, right? But again, still, you know, even though there was confusion, it doesn't take a genius, like I said, to know what's happening. We know what's happening. We know that the peace deal that happened in Doha, the contract was that, there you go, we sell Afghanistan to you. And they're like, okay, we're going to buy it. So, and of course, there's a lot of complications in between in that as well, but that's the very generalized aspect of it. You know, we have been sold. The land has been sold. And it has been sold to, because the majority of Taliban are Pashtuns, so it has been sold to Pashtuns in a way. But of course, not every Pashtun.
Hey, bro!
Not every Pashtun is.
I haven't got anything out of it.
Listen, not every Pashtun is identified as Taliban. You know, we all know that, but we can't deny the fact that the majority of the Taliban are Pashtuns. You know, so in a way, you know, it has been sold to those ideological of people, Pashtun people with those ideologies. They wanted to go in with the militia, Taliban militia, and then take over the country, and that's the confusion.
So is it fair to say that the confusion was actually amongst the frontline soldiers? That why are we being asked to retreat? And the people, the normal everyday people who thought that, oh wow, how could this just everything fall so suddenly together? Like we were trusting our government and blah blah. Well, that makes sense. Sully, have you got anything to add in this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were asked on was it the Radio 1 show or the World Metal Congress show? They kind of asked us the same question, and I said like the first emotion that I felt was shock, you know, because this is the reality of what happened, and it was premeditated. It wasn't like this was an accident, right? But we didn't, like the average people like us, we didn't really know that that this was the plan for Afghanistan. So yeah, it was just shocking and confusing to a lot of people. Like, how could this happen? You know?
I think the Americans, they really think we're stupid. And when I say Americans again, the leaders of America, they stayed there for 20 years or whatever. Then at the end, Joe Biden says, "Oh, we were only there to tackle Al Qaeda, and we weren't there for Taliban's." Yet they stayed for 20 years. Yet their own, like I've already mentioned this in the Times Radio, their own generals in 2004 confirmed that there's no traces of Al Qaeda. Why the fuck did you still stay? And now you're saying after like 15 years that, oh, we only came for Al Qaeda, not for stability. They take out their own military from background without noticing the government. And then obviously first they release all the prisoners, tell the Afghan government, we're not going to support you in any way unless you release the Taliban because of the peace deal. So they do that 2 times, 5,000 and then 7,000. Then they disappear from background base, and then all of a sudden this takeover happens, and then they bring back all the military again. It's just like, I don't know, they're not stupid obviously, so we're not stupid as well, so we know what's happening, you know. It's very
this was not
upsetting.
an accident, dude. It wasn't an
accident. No,
this was all planned. This is what the United States wanted, and that's the part that I'm pissed about.
Yes,
you know.
So now I can feel like you guys are not confused about it. You actually know the game.
Well, we don't know completely the game. We know.
No one knows.
We know what's happening. Of course, yeah. I definitely know what's happening. You know.
Exactly. So is it fair to say that somehow we did see this coming?
Somebody did. Yeah.
We did have some red flags that we have seen. In the past year or two.
I would say that's an accurate sentiment. Yeah.
Cool. So before I go into this next question, Sully, bro,
excuse me.
Alhamdulillah. I really love that, man. I always wanted to get that always. But
Dude, it
never
would
got
look
the
good
chance.
on you.
But now,
It would look good on you.
but now, I trust you. I will go for it very soon, man. Very soon.
Hey, just make
All
sure
right,
when you
so,
do go get it, real quick. First of all, you have a nice mustache, so it's gonna look good on you, right? You got a big, nice thick
hey,
mustache.
so do you, my brother. So do you, man.
Secondly, when you go, make sure you get somebody that knows what they're doing, because if they make it crooked, you're gonna fucking hate it for your whole life.
Yeah.
So make
Yeah.
sure you get it nice and straight.
Because when I did this one, I did it in Turkey, and I had to look through so many places because I have a very Afghani nose, and it's very thick. And they were like, "It's too thick, man," you know.
I'm keeping it
all right,
traditional.
so,
I into that shit, guys. You know.
why,
I can't go back to over that shit. Bro, clean. You need to go clean, bro. You need to be careful.
you have this which channels this. That's very important, my friend. That's very important and dangerous as well.
Guys,
all right,
sorry to say this. I've got 15 minutes. Let's get on with it.
15 minutes. 15 minutes. All right, then let's just go into this. Okay. Let's just go into this, man.
I can stick around. I can stick around.
Yeah, you can stick around. Because it was late anyways. Ask your questions for me.
So while you're here, man, foreign intervention, and all these protests which has been happening, and all these people who have been asking for foreign intervention, still, is there any use for it? Do you think would it be useful?
As long as they're supporting the resistance, then fuck yeah, why not? You know, like I said, I wasn't like a big fan of the resistance, but still I admired what they did since Ahmad Massoud from the 1970s, starting from 1979 and when the Russians came. Right now, I'm in a big support of resistance. As long as they're supporting the resistance, then yeah, sure. You know, let's hit these Taliban, you know, these fuckers in the head. And if there's a military support in regards to that, then sure. But otherwise, I don't think anyone's gonna bring out their military in the field. That's not going to happen. So let's just skip that. But if there's any military support to resistance, sure, why not? Let's do that.
Military support? You mean from internally or external?
Like bringing artilleries and military aid, weapons. I'm talking about some A-level grade shit. To hit these fuckers back. If they're supporting in that regards, then sure, why not? It's not fucking fair, man. Look at the fucking Pakistan. They brought their fucking drones. And because the Taliban couldn't attack Panjshir by themselves, these fuckers, these cowards, and then they brought these ISI motherfucker, chief of ISI, comes and sits in Serena Hotel having his fucking stupid tea, monitoring the situation, and while there's fucking Pakistan.
I don't know how stupid the tea was, man, but yeah, the tea must have been
it's
good.
pretty much the tea was even saying I don't want to be drafted by this guy, but because anyways, it's very fucking heartbreaking of what they did, of these intervention, and yet
how are we so supportive of the resistance? Is it because of the people who are resisting the leaders, or is it just the initiative?
It's not an initiative, first of all, because like I said, it has been happening for a very long time. It's just a rollback again. It's back, and it's happening for the second time. It's fought because they're standing for the whole country. I would have never mind if the resistance were from another part of the country, from another ethnic groups of people. As long as they're standing against the Taliban, I'm their friend. I'm very much their friend.
And just to get a little bit in that before you go, so is it true that most of our elite military units have joined the resistance? Some have been some. Okay.
Some, yes.
Okay, and I have seen this video from Vice, which one of the most elite forces or unit of the Afghanistan commandos were asked to retreat from Kandahar, which was their last line of defense. They were asked to retreat, and most of the people have been saying that I've spoken to that they have gone and joined the resistance, right? I mean, if this resistance if this whole initiative, if this whole mission could have taken place 3 months ago, would that have made any difference or no?
It might have. Why not? Yes. But the thing is, Taliban's no stupid. They know that geographically speaking, Panjshir is in a very good spot, and it will be with Taliban's benefit that if they take over other places first, rather than just going and attacking Panjshir, for example, on the way down to other cities, because they will, you know, they will be faced with a very heavy force, and of course, like I said, the geographical location very hard to attack. So that's why they've put it the very last. And it would have been if the resistance would have happened quite like 3 months ago. But there wasn't fighting 3 months ago. The only fighting was some very small Walis and villages that were happening in Sarapol and things like that. How would have resistance be like, you know what, we're going to travel all the way down to Sarapol to resist? Because, you know, everything happens so fast. Even the resistance were like, wait, what's happening? Now is the time we need to gather. Until they gathered,
and when was the actually treaty signed between the American government and the Taliban? Was that last year?
That was happened with it when the Trump was there. That's when it started, yes. But it wasn't like signed. Obviously, it was an agreement for the agreement.
Okay, so what do you think that it would have been useful to actually put in effect this whole idea of resistance from then on, while they were actually scattered and not like a full brutal force?
You see,
would it have been useful or no?
The president was making mistakes in the past 8 years and still made a mistake when all of this was happening, that he was trying to do everything centralized, and it's not possible for so many so many ethnics in a country where a lot of warlords or whatever you want to call them are still in there, right? He should have decentralized. He should have given the power locally to these people to fight the war. But again, fighting in a central way. But you have the power. The president was interfering with everything. He was interfering with the chief of command of the army. I don't know if that's the word for it. The Lloyd Ristis. You need to give Lloyd Ristis to do his job. You know, you can't just tell him, you know, fall back, technical, you know, strategy, fall back or whatever. So it should have been decentralized, giving power to these people locally, and everybody would have resisted. So he tried to do everything by himself, and that's not how you do it, and that's how everything fell apart. And I know a lot of corruption happened as well, where some provinces were like, you know what, just come and get it, you know.
So before you go, last thing, this resistance, is it being governed and controlled by military leaders or just the people?
I'm not sure, man. I don't have much knowledge of that. But so the thing is, the resistance itself, it's a, I don't know the English word for it. It's a hizb. It's a, I don't know what's the English word for it.
Party.
Yeah.
Hizb.
So yeah.
Party.
They were in relation with the government, but obviously they weren't under the government. The people in the Panjshir, there were some military existence in there, controlled by the center, by the Kabul, by the province, by the capital. But of course, when the capital failed, the government failed, even those military that were already existed joined the militia, the resistance militia, to do the resistance. The resistance was always there. It wasn't just operative. It was just there, like you know, because nobody was fighting with them, you know, and they were completely okay with the military existence as well in there. So once that happened, they joined and blah blah, and you know the rest of the story. But like I said, I don't have much knowledge as well. I don't want to just talk shit.
Okay. So while you're going, I will let you in on a little detail. You know the story of the Trojan horse, right? The Trojan horse.
Yes,
okay.
The Troy Battle of Troy. Yes.
Yeah. And our elder Afghans, they always say that a fortified base cannot be conquered from outside unless it gets conquered from inside, right? Now this whole collapse of Panjshir, it was a Trojan horse. And look into it, you will find it. I'm not going to go into details. I don't have the privilege of that, but I just recently found out from people who are very well knowledge and experts in this field. So look into that and go back probably a week and look who were really up for it, who really had the status and the title and the power, who joined the resistance. And it was of those people who were actually the Trojan horse. And obviously in the coming very near future, we will all know about it, obviously. But that was only something for you to know about it. So
Nice
if
one.
you have to go, bro, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Love to chat with you. Love to see that hardcore metal side. Hope you enjoy your day, my brother,
Thank
and
you.
hope to have you on some other time as well, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your show, your podcast. Sully, we'll catch up. Lemar, okay,
Yeah,
everyone. Have a good day, good night. Catch up. All right.
Later.
All right, now I'm nervous. I'm in the presence of a royalty, man. Sully, bro. Man,
No,
you
I'm the
guys.
king of nothing.
Oh, King Nothing, that's Metallica, man. So my land is breaking. You're
Yes.
single. Afreet single. Tell us something about that, man. Give us an insight, a quick insight into the lyrics.
Well, sometimes you just write a song and you lose yourself in the song. You lose control. And most of the time it's a disaster when that happens. In this case, I think it came out exactly the way that we wanted it to be. The lyrics, here's the thing about song lyrics, man, is I don't like to always explain my song lyrics to people. In the case of this song, it's very clear, if you read them, what the song's about. But I
wasn't able to. Well, that's why I was actually asking if you could just
Sure.
give us a little bit
I
of
can run through. They strike our hearts, separate us into parts. Awake in a nightmare.
Nice.
So this is like.
Isn't that divide and conquer? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's about the situation that's happening, the pain that people are feeling, the way that they're being inflicted pain on them. It's not just a physical injury; it's their strike our hearts. They're these animals, man, that have taken the power in Afghanistan. Like they're hurting Afghanistan in more ways than just physical, and that will remain to be seen over time. But that's sort of what the verses are about. And the chorus obviously is just a cry for help, a cry for it's the emotional side of the story. My land is breaking, our rivers have gone dry. I had a lot of trouble actually with that lyric because the Kabul River has been dry for a while and just full of trash.
For ages,
Yeah. So I felt kind of weird about using that imagery, but of course, it still kind of makes the point. Our sun is burning out. My heart is shaking. Like that's the emotion that I'm feeling, that Yosuf is feeling, and so many other people are feeling with the situation that's going on over there. So, yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to control the lyrics. I want my audience to get what they want out of it. Yeah, and if they don't want to do that, then that's just like intellectually lazy. I feel like
exactly.
And yeah, people should be free to make up their mind about what the song means to them.
Beautiful, bro. I really love that there is the essence of divide and conquer, and why did it happen to us, and it's happening again and again.
Separate us into parts. Exactly.
Exactly.
And actually, that lyric right there, real quick, it's kind of a double meaning, because initially when I wrote it, it's also about the public amputations that they were doing. They separate our body parts. Cut your hand off, steal something, cut your leg off, whatever.
Literally,
So, yeah.
But man, if I freaking find a terrorist being as a ideological terrorist or or a social terrorist, I would like to rip their balls apart anyways. But that's just me, you know. Let's just go into I think it was Yusuf who said in your last interview with Metal Hammer, and I can't get it enough of saying this Metal Hammer. You know, you guys did an interview with Metal Hammer, bro. That's a big thing, man. That's big. That's Oscar. That's Oscars, man. Hey, man, I'm pretty sure they are privileged to have you guys, bro.
All right, Mr. Rolling Stone.
I wasn't even there, man. I didn't even know when that happened. You guys said something about the scene died, the whole metal and rock scene died after 2014, right? And I'm going to kind of add that question into the musicians, or let's just say more of the progressive or moderate styles of art, or especially music in Afghanistan post-2000. They're becoming musicians, they're becoming established, and they're leaving Afghanistan, right? So what is the whole connection between these two, that the scene dying post-2014 and musicians getting to a certain level and then leaving Afghanistan?
Yeah, I mean, you need musicians in a music scene. It's that's clear.
What was the reason that they did not stay, and why did not new acts come up after 2014?
Man, that's a tough question, man. I mean, I'm glad that you asked that. I feel like we could talk for hours about it, but the base of the question, I feel like, is like, why would anyone leave Afghanistan?
That's metal, my brother. That's metal.
Yeah,
that's metal.
So there. Oh man. So
do you want to just?
No, we can talk about this. We can talk about this. So people have their reasons for leaving Afghanistan, and Afghan people have been leaving Afghanistan for the past 40 years, right? And sometimes it's by choice, sometimes it's because of war, sometimes it's because of lack of security, economic opportunities, or they just want a lifestyle change. But there's a poison actually in our blood, I feel, that has convinced us all that we need to leave Afghanistan, that we have like a national shame of some kind. And it's been plaguing us for the last 40 years. The most educated, the most skilled, the most productive members of society in Afghanistan, they all end up leaving. I think it partially has to do with the fact that no government has been able to provide a stability or a clear future. And when people move back to Afghanistan, it's because they're anticipating maybe there's a chance that things will get better and that we will be an actual country with a lifestyle, and that they will fix the poverty. You know, that's been a big problem in Afghanistan since 50s, 60s, you know, maybe before. Lack of opportunity. But for whatever reason, these musicians have left, like countless other skilled Afghans have done. And when the people leave, the dreams of the nation go with them. And that's just the reality of the situation. I don't think the scene died. I know that that's something that a lot of people have said, that the scene just died after 2014. There were still musicians doing stuff, working with alternative art. Maybe the spotlight wasn't on them. Maybe they didn't have so many opportunities because the international community left and they were sponsoring a lot of these events, these festivals, these shows. So yeah, at least for the alternative art scene, you know, not talking about like the wedding singer and that kind of thing. Yeah, it definitely took a hit, and you could say that it died after 2014, which is, I think, when the international presence started to die down in Afghanistan.
And that has to do more with them feeling unsafe and for their own security problem. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
When it goes to underground music, we have been always always using this term, the underground.
Sure.
The rock scene in Afghanistan was underground. Why? What was the reason that it was underground? Even while Afghanistan had 20 nations protecting its peace and sovereignty and freedom of expression. Why did it have to be underground even then?
What's interesting about this is you look at a lot of other underground music scenes around the world, and they started underground because they were a minority and they were doing something counterculture, something that wasn't really accepted by society. Now, the difference is, in another country, if something is not accepted by society in a developed nation, you're not going to die for doing that thing. You're not going to get physically harmed or injured, or in some cases, maybe you can be. I know that metal music and rock and roll has had its differences with the church establishment in America for many decades.
And Europe.
But in Afghanistan, exclusively, you are in danger. Even with the 20 nations and their protection, obviously we saw that they weren't capable of providing that sort of protection.
Oh, I think we just lost Sully again. That's the problem of life, and that's the beauty of life as well. Well, for the time being that Sully comes back with us, he will be joining us. If you have any questions, please shoot. And that would be our honor and pleasure to have your questions coming towards us. If you have any specific questions about their statements regarding the politics and the changes, or the music scene, or Afreet's music, or District Unknown's music, or the whole purpose of this podcast, please hit us with your questions, as for the very kind 5 people who are actually watching this right now. But I have to point out that for those people who don't know me, I was one of the founding members of District Unknown, the first Afghan metal band in Afghanistan, and whom later on Sully from Afreet and Yosuf joined after me. So we kind of go really back, and we have this unknown connection with music, with art, and with patriotism. That this whole podcast isn't intended particularly for people today, but it is, of course, targeted at the future and our future generation. So we have Sully coming back, and I'm so happy that he's keep trying to come back. And I know that he's outside. He is on probably his data. So yeah, there are some issues, and I've been having issues as well tonight. It's been a weird night. It's been a good night. How can the music? Okay, I've got a couple of questions. The music for the pathway peace from Silk Tiger. Salam alaikum. Khuda kana khub bashan. How can music for the arts pathway to peace? Okay, as metalheads from Afghanistan, do you feel more hardcore than other metalheads because of dangerous general khatarnak? Okay, that's very Blingistani rawness of Afghanistan. Those are beautiful, beautiful questions. I'm not sure if you want me to answer or you want my guests. I assume you want my guests to answer, my brothers. So I'll wait for Solomon to come back. And I think he's still trying. But if I wanted to answer Silk Tiger first, I would say, how can music for arts? I would assume you're trying to ask, how can music as an art form is a pathway to peace? I think it is more to do with connecting people. It's more to do with your internal feelings and emotions. I think you can connect more with individuals, with people, with your countrymen or tribesmen or anyone in the world. If you want to share the one emotion and the one feeling, and to be in a unity, art is the best way is the best pathway to reach that unity and to find that singularity, that one point that we all crave for, which is, I should say, timeless peace, eternal peace and love and life. So I think arts, music being its part, I think it connects us all. It gives us something in our heart. It makes us feel. And when you feel, that's a very authentic sort of an emotion which connects us better. I hope I have been able to answer that question very quickly. I can go for hours. We have, as metalheads from Afghanistan, do you feel more hardcore than other metalheads? Yes, Lingastan, my mentor, my love. Yes, we do, because of the conservative culture that we come from, the dangers in society and the radical, I should say, perspective or views of people that we come from. It is very khatarnak. It is very dangerous. It was very dangerous back in even my days. So for us to even counter that culture, even to trying to stand up, that's very khatarnak and dangerous. And so, Sully, you're back. Thank you very much, bro. Because when you were out, I know that I'm not as handsome as you boys and not that skilled, so I had to entertain our beautiful friends who are still watching, and they had a couple of questions. We have a question from Silk Tiger from United States, a very beautiful spiritual artist, a dancer, and obviously our favorite, my personal love, Blingistan. They had two questions. So from Silk Tiger, the question was, how does art or music is a pathway to peace?
Oh man, ooh. So yeah, that's a great question. I think music specifically, I won't talk about art because I don't have that expertise, I think. And I would say music is a catalyst for a lot of things. It can be a catalyst for peace. We saw this with a lot of these bands during the Vietnam War that were very outspoken and political. Bands like Rage Against the Machine in the later years, in the 90s, 2000s, bands like System of a Down, they were sharing political messages and creating change from within. One of these bands, I know they started a riot actually I think it was in LA many years ago. So music can do a lot of things. It can incite people for change, for peaceful means. It can incite people to violence. It can do a lot of things, and I think it's because it's that bridge that people have between what they're hearing, not always just lyrically, but in the music, and their emotions and their perception of the music and the world around them and how that's related. So I think music in general, it's a very powerful tool. And
I'm pretty sure you will agree with me, because music or any form of art, it reaches, it goes out from a heart and reaches heart.
Exactly, yeah.
And,
it might pass through many mediums. On the way, it might pass through many mediums, but in the end, that's the goal. Is when we make music, is we want to impact people on a deeper level, not just through their ears, but like you said, to their hearts and their minds.
It's a very universal form of reaching.
Yes, yeah. I think it's one of the most effective methods of communication, to be honest. Even though a lot of music is sometimes poetic or very obscure, it still can reach, deep.
Of course. And then we had a question from Blingistan saying that you guys being metalheads from Afghanistan, does that make you any more different, dangerous, or khatarnak from any other metal bands from around the world?
I mean, I don't like to brag about it, man, because I'm not proud of the
But it does. It does. It does. Sure. That's me. Okay.
The circumstances are tragic, and I don't want to have to face that sort of danger. That's not the goal. But in the essence of it, yeah, man, like we are more hardcore. Like we face a lot of like real dangers in Afghanistan doing what we do. Like, a lot of time,
life and death.
Yeah, exactly. It's a life and death thing. Like a lot of bands, they construct the boogeyman, you know, in some way, shape, or form to act like more hardcore. Like we didn't have to act, dude. Like our shit was really gonna get us into trouble if we fell into the, you know, if we crossed paths with the wrong person. So definitely in that sense, we are more hardcore. But that doesn't mean that our message is like any more or less important than like what other artists and musicians are doing in safer countries, you know.
Fair enough. True. Well, hopefully you two beautiful artists from the Afghanistan scene have got your answers, and hopefully you are happy with those answers. Sully, bro, thank you very much, man. I would love to have a chat for hours and hours, but hopefully I will have you guys again with us chatting some more. I've got a lot of more questions for you guys, and hopefully we will be able to tackle these questions. But for now, it was about My Land is Breaking, and I would request everyone to go and listen to that song and try to contribute to the cause of helping the everyday Afghan people through that song and the contributions of that song. So thank you very much, my brother, my friend, my bandmate. It was an honor, man. It was an honor. Thank you very much. Hopefully we will see you again. Any last thoughts? Any last giveaways?
Just want to say I was really happy. I know we had some technical problems on this podcast, but I was really happy to sit down and at least talk to you guys for a little bit. I think there's a lot of value in what we're doing here, and I encourage other people. I know that a lot of people in this chat have been doing the same. Dialogue, conversation. When the dialogue dies, it's the death of humanity. It's the death of civilization.
Beautiful.
So I'm so glad that we were able to do this. And yeah, like Lemar said, check out the song, go support in any way that you can, and share the message, share the plight of the Afghan people. It's important right now.
Share the message, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back with some more content, with some more messages of standing your ground, messages to stay together and unite. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Always a pleasure, Sully. Thank you very much, Afreet. This is Lemar from Voices from the Mountains. We are out till the next time. Thank you very much. Stay well. Keep the fight on. Bye-bye, bro. Wow.
Later.
Ciao.